Let's face it, being an adult is hard. You got all these responsibilities, you got bills, you gotta pay rent. Honestly though, I like being an adult, which is more than I can say for all the adults on this list. I'm about to count down the top 10 adults caught posing as children. Get ready. What's gravy? You're watching IO. I'm Charlotte Delray. I'm back at it again with another spicy top 10 list. If you're new here, hi. Nice to meet you. How about we take our relationship to the next level and you subscribe? And if you've already subscribed, turn on the bell. And if you've already done both of those things, then follow me on Instagram. And if you've already done all three of those things, good job. Here's an invisible potato. Alright, I'm counting down the top 10 adults caught posing as children. Let's go. Starting things off at number 10, we got Michelle Ann Goodrich. Back in 2018, 32-year-old Michelle Ann pretended to be a homeless 15-year-old girl named Rowley Madison in order to enroll in classes at an upstate New York high school. Under a 1987 law, the school district had to enroll her as a student because she claimed to be homeless, even if she didn't have the proper documents to support her age. An investigation revealed that she already had a high school diploma, so no one really knows why she enrolled in high school a second time. She rode the bus every day to Cairo Durham High School until one day when she didn't show up for school and teachers became suspicious. She was eventually arrested in December of 2018 in Cairo, New York, and faced charges of offering a false instrument for filing, falsifying business records, and criminal trespassing. Yes, in case you wanted to know, it is illegal to pretend to be a child. At number 9 on our list, Sidney Gilstrap Portley. Sidney was a 25-year-old man and Hurricane Harvey refugee who was caught posing as a 17-year-old playing basketball at Hillcrest High School in Dallas, Texas in 2017 and 18. The reason? He wanted to relive his glory days as a high school basketball all-star. Sidney played basketball for North Mesquite High School before graduating in 2011. He was caught posing as a 17-year-old after a North Mesquite coach recognized him at a tournament. That's awkward. How did he not think that would happen? Apparently while he was posing as a 17-year-old, he also dated a 14-year-old. That's illegal. And it's also illegal to pose as a student. He pleaded guilty and received 6 years probation for indecency with a child and record tampering. It turns out that Sidney also had a young child and a fiance while he was doing this. His father at the time said, I quote, "He made errors. There was no ill intent. We apologize for that happening. It was mischanneled determination. His passion is basketball. He tried to push rewind in his life." Side note, parents always see the best in you, don't they? At 8 on our list, Charity Johnson. Back in 2013, 34-year-old Charity Johnson pretended to be a high school sophomore for almost an entire school year before she was found out. She attended New Life Christian School in Longview, Texas, and lied about being 15 years old for 7 whole months. She was arrested in June 2014 when she flashed a fake ID to police under the fake name Sheree Stevens after they were called to an apartment she was staying in. Her excuse was that she was abandoned by her family and only looking for love. She said, I quote, "I'm just a normal person like any other normal person, trying to pursue her education, get her education, and make it through life and be a better person." The principal at New Life Christian School told the press she acted like a 15 or 16-year-old girl. She was an attentive student, did her homework, but still, Charity Johnson was given an 85-day prison sentence. At lucky number 7 on our list, Artur Smarin. Artur Smarin was a 23-year-old Ukrainian man who went by the name Asher Potts so he could enroll in high school in America. The reason? His visa ran out. Artur came to the United States when he was 18 back in 2012 under a short work visa through a Ukrainian university. He flipped burgers at Red Robin in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and he also befriended a couple, Stephanie and Michael Potts, who agreed to adopt him so he didn't have to go back to the Ukraine. This sounds familiar. The Potts asked Smarin to shave 5 years off his age so he could be adopted by them, and also get benefits from the government. Police said that he stayed in the US after his visa expired and even managed to get a hold of a social security number and a passport under his fake name. He was also an exceptional student and had a 4.16 grade point average. I feel like most of us would do better in high school the second time around though, don't you think? Anyways, Smarin's relationship with his adoptive parents took a bad turn. They physically abused him if he didn't do their household chores, and they threatened him with deportation. Eventually they went to the police in his last year of high school, calling him a foreign terrorist that planned to shoot up his high school. They are actually making a movie out of this true story, and Ansel Elgort is gonna play him. In at 6, Goodrich Montemere, another basketball player. Goodrich pretended to be a 16-year-old boy when he was actually 21, all because he wanted to play basketball in Texas. He pretended to be a Haitian orphan and went by the name Jerry Joseph. He played on the Odessa Paramount High School basketball team in 2009. He actually showed a lot of promise by the year 2010 and was on track to become a college basketball star. He even convinced the school's head basketball coach Danny Wright, who liked him so much he put him up at his home. But yet again, Goodrich was recognized at a tournament in Arkansas by his previous coaches. And then it all came out. Goodrich was charged with falsifying documents and also sleeping with a 15-year-old girl who thought he was only 16. He was eventually released from prison in 2013. Halfway there now at number 5, Bryan Michael Raney. 24-year-old Bryan made headlines in 2019 because he told police that he was a missing boy. Timothy Pitson, who went missing from a Chicago suburb in 2011 when he was only 6 years old. Bryan told the police he was 14 years old when he was really 24, and that he was actually the missing boy. He said he escaped kidnappers in Ohio and was missing for 8 years after his mother committed suicide. His identity ended up being released after the FBI's DNA test results confirmed he wasn't Timothy Pitson. In fact, he had a criminal record dating back to 2013 and his DNA was already in the system. That's awkward. Bryan was charged by the FBI for making false statements to a federal agent and could face up to 8 years in federal prison for his stunt. No one knows why he made up the story though. That's still a mystery. At number 4 on our list, Taylor Markie Smith. Back in 2011, it was found out that 22-year-old Taylor pretended to be a teenager so he could play football at no less than 13 different schools across Texas. I will let that sink in. 13 different schools. Jim Ledford, football coach at Berkner High School in 2011, said that Taylor Smith told him he was 16 when he tried to enroll at Berkner in 2008. He also said that his parents had passed away. Police believe that Taylor tried almost everything to play high school football. Some schools let him in without question, and then in other instances, Smith brought in a fake district caseworker when he tried to enroll. That is some dedication right there. Many of his coaches said that he seemed like he would be the next star player, but he was pretty much a con artist who would disappear right before he was found out before moving to another high school and trying the scam again. In at 3, Frederick Borden. 23-year-old Frederick is from France, and he managed to convince an American family that he was their missing son, Nicholas Barclay, who disappeared from his home in San Antonio, Texas back in 1994. Nicholas was only 13 years old at the time. Frederick went to Spanish police 3.5 years after Nicholas Barclay went missing, stating that he was the missing teen. His story was that he was abducted, taken to Europe, and abused by a notorious pedophile ring before he managed to escape. The Barclays bought the story, they flew to Spain, picked him up, and took him back to the US. Frederick Borden managed to fool a heck of a lot of people. The Barclays, the Spanish police, and the US consulate, even though he didn't look anything like the missing boy. So why did the Barclays agree to take him to the US? Well, there was actually a documentary made on Frederick Borden, and it makes the claim that the family had ulterior motives. Borden was exposed as a notorious con artist and is now known in France as the Chameleon. He spent 6 years in prison for pretending to be Nicholas Barclay. In at 2, a man who is only known as Siavash. Pretty much as soon as he started the school year at Stokes High School in Suffolk, England, students and parents began to complain about a 6'1" man with stubble and an Adam's apple that was attending classes. He wore glasses, but they weren't prescription. It turns out that Siavash was born in Iran, and he was forced to flee the Middle East before arriving in the UK. He claimed asylum and said that he and his brother were 15 and 12 years old. The school didn't look into the accusations made by students and parents because they believed that they were racially motivated. Now, Siavash didn't really do anything inappropriate, but ultimately he was exposed after authorities found out he was posing as a child in order to take advantage of the British free education system. This case actually forced Britain to make it a lot harder for asylum seekers to fake their age. And at number 1, Natalia Barnett. You knew this was coming. The person who inspired this top 10 list. Natalia Barnett is from the Ukraine and she has a rare form of dwarfism, so no one really knows how old she is. She's at the center of an adoption scandal right now. She was adopted by an American family, the Barnetts, who believed she was between 6 and 8 years old in 2010, but the Barnetts slowly started to see clues that she was a lot older than she said she was. She had periods, full pubic hair, and medical conditions only adults can be diagnosed with. Natalia also started being violent toward the Barnetts, who legally changed her birth year to 1989, making her 30 years old today. Natalia now lives with another family, the Manns, who believe that she's a teenager, but the Barnetts are facing trial on charges of neglect and are set to face trial in January 2020. If you guys want more info on Natalia Barnett, I highly recommend you check out our previous coverage. There's a lot of info there, way too much for me to cover in a top 10 list. Whew, that's it. I'm sweating, it's too hot for a turtleneck. Let's wrap up this one with some common features, shall we? These are from my video, Top 10 Influencers Exposed for Living Fake Lives. Ivia said she wears the same pants in all the videos. Guys, I actually only have one pair of pants and I live in a box. Help me, I'm poor. Dana Cox said, please do the top 10 YouTube channels that should shut down. Oh, okay, Dana. You want the tea, eh? Maybe I will. Kat said, hi Charlotte. Hi Kat. That's it for me. Thanks for watching. Click this playlist to keep watching, and make sure you leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want more, so maybe I'll see you in a future IO video.